thank you to be in this session. We almost canceled it. It's my first time to be in Ireland, and I'm pleased to be on this stage. So, my name is Jiawei Wang. I'm from SPI, Sociedade Portuguesa de Inovação. So we are a Portuguese-based consulting company. But what brings me here today is not our company, but the project that we are implementing. It's called the EU SME Center. So we have our passion to support the SMEs and startups to explore the Chinese market. So I will explain how the startups and the SMEs can expand in China, and also to introduce about our center, and to share some successful stories and tips and takeaways for you to take away, okay? So when we're talking about China, what is the first word that comes to your mind? The first word? Well, the most common answer that I got is people. So the market is all about people, right? So the Chinese market is becoming very attractive to the Western business across different industries due to the habit increasing demographic, rising incomes, and increased consumer spending and the open business environment. So there are many US and European SMEs start to expand their business in Chinese market. But to bring in the Chinese market, they are also very challenging if you don't know any information about the Chinese market, right? So there are some data about the Chinese startup and SMEs ecosystem in China. So in the area of Asian Pacific region, there are about 159 startup economies ranking in the first 1,000, right? And there are two big countries inside Asia, which is India and China, that has more than 1 billion population. And in the national level, there are 44 Chinese cities ranked among these 159 economy. And as a whole, China is ranking at 10th position. And there are 3 cities that are the most friendly to the startups. They are Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen. They rank in 6th, 7th, and 18th. And see the beautiful landscape? They are also very friendly to the startup and also the big players in the market. So what are the key strengths of the Chinese innovation ecosystem for startups and enterprises? They have strong push for the industry, university, and research cooperation. There are a lot of postdoc stations based within the companies, and joint company university degrees and STI prizes sponsored by the company. So there is a very interesting phenomenon that in China, a PhD student or postdoc fellowship, they don't call their supervisor professor or supervisor. They call them both. That explains everything, right? And also they have large concentration of incubators and collaborative spaces hosted within universities and also in the companies and science technology parks. And this translates it into a significant number of resources, both public and private, and available to entrepreneurs and startups. And many very cheap solutions supporting foreign entrepreneurs also in different levels. And also it has world-class financing resources, venture capitals, and private equity investment funds that are available and accessible for the foreigners also. And there are also international players to fund the projects. And here are some good examples of those science technology parks and also the big players in the market. For example, the Zhongguancun Park, Innovate and Innovation Drive in China. So they have a strong connection with the universities, the top ones, Tsinghua University, Beijing University, that they have a lot of spin-offs from their projects And they have a very good performance in the Chinese market also. And the other two examples, Gensou and Maison Nanjing, they are the venture capitals. And also they have a strong link with the local government in Shenzhen and in Nanjing. So when you have a project that you could negotiate or pitch to these two organizations, that you can get a funding or you can have a collaboration with the government directly. And talking about this, how can you enter the Chinese market? There are several ways. The traditional ways is to exporting your products via importers or distributors. And they are also possible to create your own company, to physically settle down your company in China, and including your product and workforce, and a lot of visa incentives exist for this purpose, okay? And also you can seek Chinese investment, but if you are not physical in China, it's not easy to operate. There are a lot of rules, strategies behind this, okay? And there are a lot of R&D cooperations with the local partners and also the Chinese universities, research entities, that you can be physically present in China. And also, there are a lot of challenges. Obviously, there are completely different internet data and cyber regime, and that might require building entire systems from scratch to comply with Chinese laws, and difficulty in implementing cross-border R&D projects. And also, it's difficult to compete with local Chinese startups. Of course, they have more, they know the environment better, and they have more resources. And they have more connects with the local government and the other partners. And there are general biases favoring Chinese domestic companies, yes, and also there are short KPIs and profitable priority in the Chinese investors. They prefer a turnover in 1 or 2 years, and if you have a more long-term strategy, like 5 years or 10 years, you will not be patient to wait so much time, right? And KPI rights protection. This is a very important topic, but I will not go into it because the next speaker, Mr. Matthew, will deep dive in these topics, I'm sure. And also, the startups and SMEs should ask if they are ready to enter the Chinese market, because there are so many challenges and there are a lot of opportunities. Are you ready to go to Chinese market? Do you want to increase your consumers? Do you know all the laws? Do you know all the logistics and all the regulation problems? If you are asked these questions to yourself, the answer is yes. Why not? Go to Chinese market. And here are some programs, examples of programs that you could follow. They are from Spain, from Finland, from Germany and Italy. They have this collaboration with the universities in China. They have soft landing programs so that you could be protected by these programs, and you can get funding and you can understand the Chinese market from these programs. It's a more safer way, I would say, to enter Chinese market. And I'm sure there are a lot of others from your countries. Oh, sorry. So, talking about this, we didn't yet introduce my center, the USME Center. Actually, it is funded by the Single Market Program, managed by the European Commission. And after more than 10 years of running, we are in the fourth phase from 2022 to 2025. And we support the European small, medium-sized companies, startups, and entrepreneurs to expand their activities in China. And we have an office in Beijing, and we have more than 270 partners inside China and in Europe. And it is implemented by a consortium of 6 partners. I have a picture here, but it didn't show. And we are from Portugal, from Italy, and from Beijing. And besides these 6 partners, we also have more than 20 business supporting organizations that is located in the European countries, And they are the ones that could provide services to all the startups that is interested in Chinese market. And what about our services? There are 5 parts of services: self-diagnosis tools, knowledge, advice, training, and advocacy. What are these? I will explain in the next slides. So the self-diagnosis tools is an online tool that can assess your readiness to enter the Chinese market and to identify the knowledge gaps with a business quiz developed by our experts. So at the end of the quiz, you will be directed to a report or article that could explain how you can explore the Chinese market in a specific sector. And the knowledge, talking about the library, after 10 years of running, we already gathered a lot of more than 300 reports about different sectors, and you can get up-to-date information that you need about regulation and the market access. And advice, we have an inquiry space that you could put your questions to the experts, and you can have a direct dialogues to the experts, in-house experts from the center. And also, you will be connected with the business supporting organizations, as I mentioned in the previous slides, and they will provide the services that you need. And training and events, we have regularly organized some events, training sessions that could help you to understand the market, avoid common pitfalls, and train your team in Europe online with our team on the ground in China. And if you follow our website, you will get the up-to-date information about this. And advocacy is to ensure the voice of European SMEs is heard at the high-level meetings. And a team of SME experts working together with the European Chamber of Commerce. And you can take part into these meetings and share your experience and gain insights and participate in the workshops and working groups and have the networking with the other partners. So here are 2 successful stories that I would like to share with you. The first is Akadu. Akadu is a cloud-based platform providing the live translation solutions and based on the AI subtitles. This founder is from Barcelona, and he had this experience study in China in the Beijing University, and this company is a spin-off from the project from Beijing University. And as you know, during the last 3 or 4 years, we cannot have physical meetings. So the meetings are held online, the webinars, events, everything. So this company take this opportunity to expand their business in China, and they are quite successful at the first year. They managed to have 1 million RMB in revenue from the Chinese consumers. And the other very interesting story is about the E-Risky Roadshow that is physically held in Beijing in last August. And this roadshow gathered the participants joining in Beijing and also from Europe online. So the audience are the distributors and the Chinese investors that they could connect to the European producers and to taste whiskey in Beijing. So that's a very interesting story that we could make advantage of our office in Beijing to make the physical events in China with their support. And here are the final tips and takeaways that I would like to share with you. So first, to understand the local business culture. And this is a very interesting story that I have a friend from Belgium, and he was living in China for more than 20 years. And he said that in Chinese culture is quite different from the Europeans. And they like to use the fruit to describe this relationship. So he said, the Europeans are like peaches. You have very soft skin. You can match with each other, but you have a core inside that is private and no one can touch it. But if you're dealing with the Chinese or the Asian guys, they are like the coconut. Okay, they have a very strong shell that you could have a lot of conflicts, bang, bang. But finally, when you get along with each other, you will find they are juicy, they are soft inside. Okay, that's a very interesting story, and he shared this with us, and I think it makes sense. Also in the business negotiation. So don't give up for the first or the second trial. Try to make a long-term relation with the Chinese, and it will work well. And also consider the location. As you understand, Chinese market is about 9.6 million squares, right? So it's almost the size of the European continent. So Beijing and Shanghai, they are two cities in China, but they are so different in the culture or also in the ecosystem of startups. So when you enter the Chinese market, please consider this location. It will make sense to enter the Chinese market, okay? And also study the local promotional policies, go with local government. What does it mean? So now after these COVID restrictions, the Chinese government started to have a lot of delegations to explore the foreign markets and try to bring the companies back to China. And as I know, last month there are 3 delegations that is in Europe, in Amsterdam, in Lisbon, and also in Belgium. So the delegations will introduce the policy promotions, and also different cities have these different policies. If you want to get the up-to-date information, it is the best way to talk with the delegation from the government, okay? And leverage with e-commerce platforms. It's much easier if you find distributors than to find e-commerce platform partners. There are lots in China, like Tmall from Alibaba, Jingdong, and also TikTok. They are quite emerging platforms that you could increase your customers very easily to millions of people. And also to engage with relevant programs like our center, and also other programs that I showed in the previous slides, or with Chinese partners. Okay, thank you for your attention. And if you want more information, I want to continue these dialogues with our center, you have my email here, and also you have a QR code on the top. It is a public account on the WeChat, so you could follow up us and to try to get the up-to-date information about our center. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.